the real estate business, the truth. So everybody talks about the good in real estate business, and the good is so much better than the way they describe it. They talk about, oh, we get to walk around in dresses and high heels and we go and brunch. That's nowhere near the best of the business. The best part of the business is seeing that first time home buyer sign for that house, and they hold up, your sign or the title company sign that says I'm a homeowner now, or I said yes to the address. And that is so much better than your little cocktails and whatever you're doing over on TV. I don't know what y'all are doing over there. Or when you're walking through a house and you see their eyes light up like it never has before, and it's the one. But they also talk about the negative side of real estate is when you've shown them 50 houses, but it makes it even more sweet when they've seen that one that lights up, when they see that one that is the one they want. So, it's not necessarily a bad thing when you go and show 50 properties. I try to narrow things down and keep what we're doing, as professional as possible. If you're wanting to see 50 properties, I've made a mistake somewhere where I'm not sending you the right properties that would really fit your needs, or you haven't decided exactly what you want, what you're looking for. You haven't narrowed that down, because most people can say that I just want 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, whatever. And I'm like, there's very few houses that have exactly that. But being a little flexible with what they're looking for really helps. So learning how to talk to people, your buyers and sellers, to distinguish what they really want is a big part of the job that I never knew. I never knew that there was so much unlicensed psychology. And when I say that, I don't mean I'm giving them psychological advice. I mean I'm giving them that conversation of where they're just pouring themselves out to me. And I never thought that people would tell the strangers things that they do. And I feel very honored to have people I work with feel that comfortable with me. And so that was something I didn't expect. And that's a positive, I think, in my opinion. And then as we're moving forward throughout the process, like I met with a lawyer the other day with my buyer. My buyer was wrong, so it's not always going to go perfectly. So sometimes things happen where the sellers don't do what they're supposed to do. And, I had a great military buyer and I wanted to be there for him. So, I am not any type of representation. I'm no attorney. I'm not licensed as any type of attorney. But I was there to be his voice, to say, hey, here's where things went sideways and this is what we're looking at. And, what advice do you have for him? And just to be a listening ear for what his concerns were with that process. So you never want to get to that point. That's the first time I've ever been to that point. But we were on the side where we were trying to come up with solutions, and it was never malicious. So that's something I never expected, to have to go talk to a lawyer, to possibly have to go to court and give a testament. That's very interesting. Another thing about this business, I never knew it was so hard to get new business. Like I'm cruising right now. I'm at my 5-year mark or right around it. And people know who I am and they know what I do. But I didn't know early on that I had to tell people. I was like, well, they're just going to see my Facebook, or, my friends are going to know. But if you don't tell your friends, that this is what you do, you don't get business, you don't eat, So it's one of those things that I just fully embraced it. Like I love what I do and I'm proud of what I do, and I truly help people, and I see that every day. And so I put magnets on my car that says, hey, I'm a realtor, here's my number, here's a little QR code to scan. And I do the same thing with my Facebook page. I make it known of what I do. I share little stories and things that I do. And there's so much to this business, so many facets of it, and there's so much more good than what they portray on TV. And there's so much, the bad is just so different. They're like, well, the seller backed out. That's the least of our problems, is where, it's crushing when a seller or a buyer backs out. It's very rare. I've honestly never had it happen, but people change their mind, and that's okay. That doesn't bother me at all when people change their mind. Hey, when it is the right time, they'll come back, because I wasn't hard up on them. I understood. But the bad times are, those times where you just sell a house and somebody commits suicide, and you find out that you lost one of your customers and friends. Or when you sell a home and they're so happy to go in, but now they're ready to sell because, or they bought the home, Now they're ready to sell because it's a divorce now. And life changes, things change, but the happiest times are when they say that, hey, we're going to need a bigger house. We got to sell this one because we need an extra bedroom now. Like, oh, my heart. I love those because, it's aside from, okay, I get to sell one and I get to help them buy another one. But like, let's plan where we're going to put the nursery. Like, where do the bedrooms need to be? Do you want them close to you want a split floor plan where you have your privacy and silence, or are you going all in and just glad to be that close with the littles? And so like there's so many different areas of this job that are fulfilling and challenging. I wouldn't say as much that there's so many bad days. There's so many challenging days. The most, and never, you'll never know all of the situations, all of the possibilities, because every day after 5 years, and I've been doing it full time as a solo agent, and I've been very busy after my second year. And every transaction is different. Every transaction, there's a curveball. And you've got to be a prepared agent and hopefully have a great support system. So I'm very lucky because I've got an amazing brokerage and an amazing broker who answers my call whenever. And we've had some weird ones this week. I'm like, hey, have you ever had this happen? My thoughts were to pursue it this way. Do you see any angles here where that could be to the detriment of the buyer or seller? And she's like, oh no, here's what's happened in the past. It's just a simple addendum. Like, she always has some great advice. And also, aside from that, from working at a different brokerage before, I collected friends, and then they left that brokerage too, and they're in different places. So they're working for different brokerages, and they have a different perspective and a different idea. And so don't only friend people who are at your brokerage. If my friend wouldn't have joined this brokerage that I'm currently at, I wouldn't have known it existed. I mean, over time I would have, because they're popular, but I wouldn't have known how great it was. So listen to your friends who move away. They can tell you about other great brokerages and their experience and what they pay and what they do and how their brokerage does things. And you can really get an idea of where you want to be. And my biggest advice is don't move for a friend. I love my friend, but I found where I want to be. My friend moved here to the company I'm at, and then she moved to another company. And as much as I care for her and would love to work for the same brokerage, like, if you're happy where you are, do not move because your best friend moved, because I bet you they'll be moving back. Sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side. So the challenge of, first off, your first challenge is, hey, passing the test. Then it's, okay, who am I going to hang my license with? And then it's like, okay, which one has the best training? And then you get into it and it's like, where in the heck do I find buyers and sellers? A lot of people don't have the money to pay Zillow or the Z Word to start shopping and pay for these leads. So, I didn't want to be given a fish. I didn't want to join a team and be given a fish and be like, here's lead, here's a lead, here's a lead. And then one day decide to go off on my own, have no idea how to fish. I wanted to learn how to fish. I wanted to learn how to hunt, to learn how to reach buyers and sellers on my own, where, it was sustainable. But one of the best things I've ever done in my career to build my business is to just know people. I knew no one really in Niceville other than a small group of friends here or there. And, by getting involved with the community, by volunteering, some people may think, if you're trying to think of it solely as a business thing, well, volunteers don't always have a lot of money. Sometimes they're volunteering because they're court ordered to or whatever. That's not the case. Volunteers are people who are good-hearted, and when their friend says, hey, I need a real estate agent, they're going to say something. They're going to mention you if you present yourself well. And volunteering, it's so warming to the heart. Like, it really does do something for you as a person. So I highly recommend volunteering and getting involved in the community. If you go to a church or if you go to a club, reach out, meet new people, and don't make it about the real estate. Make it about the people. Like, that's all my goal is right now, is to get to know people. And business will come, maybe, but the real thing is just trying to make an impact in the world that's positive, and making sure that I have a good reputation with the community, because it's going to come out at some point that, oh, so and so needs a realtor. Well, I've already told them about so and so. So like, it's something that it's, when you do good comes back to you. So I wish I knew that earlier on in my career. I was so busy doing nothing. I was so busy trying to send out postcards and trying to design a new logo or trying to design something eye-catching that I completely missed the memo where, hey, you're supposed to be reaching out to people and connecting. And your business comes later on, but put people first. Anyway, that's my